Hello and welcome to new video. Today we're going to take a look at another rank 1 in the world team. We're going to have a team here from Luffy, and they actually stole the team as well from a different play here that I usually showcase on my channel quite often as well. Kind of interesting, they always showcase the same players that get to like rank 1 in the world and like super high up in the leaderboard if there's an algorithm, but we're not going to talk about this one. As we're going to have here an interesting team. We're going to have a team here with a Skeletorch in the lead. Being weak to water types, we're going to have two good answers for those in the back here with, in my opinion, the safe swap of Lostheart. I think that's kind of the safe swap of the team, and the Venusaur in the back. The original team creator here also said that if you have like a Dragon type lead like this one, you kind of want to play it out and go into the 2-shield scenario so you can get 2 shields. I think for me, one issue is that my lead doesn't have the ideal IVs, and so we are sadly just like 1 HP short of knocking out that Dragonite in time, which can be quite difficult. But here's the cool thing, Venusaur is currently a great core breaker for the current meta. And if an opponent swaps into a Lantern against your Venusaur, that means they're definitely going to be weak against you in the back. And so what you're gonna see here is a 1 Frenzy Plant carrying through. I wait out a bit and we're gonna go for that Sludge Bomb against that Wigglytongue carrying Wigglytongue, that's basically Wigglytuff plus Lickitung together, which is actually a very common backline right now. But yeah, the Wigglytuff are gonna go down here actually from the crunch from our Dragon and Dark type Pokemon Lostheart, and we can move on to the next battle. So let's see how this one's gonna go. We have a horrible lead here, and honestly, this happened quite often. I felt like I did not really have great matchups with Skeletorch at all here today. Like honestly, I did not really feel like Skeletorch had any play for me today. Of course, this is going to be based on just a few battles, like 15 battles I think I did with this team total. And I feel like there were quite a lot of Bastion, quite a lot of Scarbink, quite a lot of water type Pokemon elite. And so Skeletorch itself was a little bit tricky for me to maneuver. Lostheart definitely is a solid Pokemon in the current meta, very neutral against a lot of the current meta picks. But real MVP for this team for sure is the Venusaur. Like Venusaur is something I can really recommend you to try out right now as well, as Venusaur has so much potential against the current meta. And we talked about this actually in a video earlier as well before. The first Legend of the season even used Venusaur to hit Legend, because there are so many water type Pokemon. There are Cresselia around, there are literally so many Azumarill around, so many Wigglytuff around. It is currently one of the best core breakers in the meta. I tried out recently as well the Victory Bell with a Magical Leaf, but like it is just not the same. Like honestly, it is so much better to run Venusaur right now. So definitely Venusaur is something that I would really recommend you to try out in the current meta. It has so much play. Here we still try our best, but the opponent is sadly running Future Sight. We had to hope they're not running Future Sight, but yeah, good game there. Nothing I can do, and we can move on to the next one. The Ox's defense in the lead. That's actually a favorable lead for our Skeletorch, or is it? Because the opponent actually going to outspeed me to the first move, which could be the Rock Slide, which would be super effective against us. So it is not as ideal. I said he has a shield on a Psycho Boost. I'm definitely okay about this one. As I swap out into the Wigglytuff, I can just swap out into my own Venusaur. Go for a Sludge Bomb straight away, try to knock them out. Have a great time here. We got out 1 Charmer already, which is going to be great for us. We have still some energy on our Skeletorch, and they swap back out into the Deoxys. And here, they're forced to go for a Psycho Boost against me, which makes this kind of a nice matchup for me, especially as they're going to let the move go through. I can just go ahead, let the move go through here as well, go back into my Lostheart. They still should be locked into this matchup, and they cannot do anything against me, as now it depends on what they have in the back, which we will never find out. Next opponent, the Nut here, going to have Golbat in the lead, and I actually tried out their team as well already, and I might make a video about it, but like Golbat actually has a lot of play in the current meta, and it's definitely a cool team that they are running here. They went for the bait, which of course is a little bit risky. I kind of was forced to use a shield there because I don't really want to give up all of my energy, and they know about this as well. They swap out into a Dewgong, which is very tough for my backline to deal with. I could have stayed in maybe with my Skeletorch, but I kind of did not really want to, especially if I have the Venusaur, which is so weak against that Golbat. I'm going to decide to go ahead and go up to another Frenzy Plant, try to knock out that Dewgong, and get rid of one of the hardest answers to our Lostheart. Now hoping, of course, that there's something in the back that we can deal with the Lostheart. A lot of times you paired with like some kind of Dark type Pokemon like an Umbreon or a Mandibuzz. Okay, maybe not Mandibuzz if it's a Golbat, because you have a double flying type then. But no, they're running the Annihilape in the back, which is horrible for us, because now we're going to be forced to go for that Disarming Voice here. Get the shield from the opponent, but yeah, it comes down to basically our Lostheart getting enough energy to go for 2 charge moves against both the opponent's Annihilape as well as the opponent's Golbat. We know we can survive usually any kind of charge move from the opponent here, so that's going to be okay. But Nightshades are coming through here, kind of have to overfarm by quite a bit, because I know that they're going to be kind of close to the Poison Fang on that Golbat already, and so sadly this is not going to work out for us. They can knock me out, and we can move on to the next opponent here. Skeletorch against the Dragonair, again as said before, but also as said before twice basically. First, I don't really get quite a lot of good leads with this Pokemon, literally, there were so many very tough ones for this one, but also you kind of want to play out the 2-shield scenario against Dragon-type Pokemon as far as I know in the lead, just so you get all the shields already, and then try to farm them down later on with your Lord. Unless they of course are gonna let the move go through, then you would be able to knock them out here and align yourself. Alignment is also kind of nice for this team. I think the team kind of is supposed to function like this, that you kind of want to win the lead and then align yourself afterwards. Here we have to basically make a guess here. We may have to make a guess here. Do they run Future Sight? Do they run Moonblast? If they run Moonblast, we can hardwall them with Venusaur. If they run Future Sight, we can hardwall them with Guzzlord. As I swap out straight away, we are very likely going to encounter here one with Future Sight and Grass Knot, which is going to be great for us because like this, we can swap out into our Venusaur here. Catch any move, most of them going to be resisted unless they're running Flash Cannon or Mirror Shot, they're running Thunder, and so we're going to be in a very favorable spot here for us. We can overfarm by a bit as well. As they decide to go ahead and go for their Thunder, I can try to go for that Sludge Bomb here now as well and see how this is gonna go. This is going to be able to get some nice damage onto them. We can go for another Frenzy Plant. Frenzy Plant is going to take the knockout, and let's see what the opponent is going to do now. I think we're going to be fine. I'm fairly certain it's going to be the Future Sight variant of this Pokemon. We might see it here already, and yes, it's going to be Future Sight, and this is kind of a guessing game with Cresselia, which honestly makes it even stronger than it's in theory, because what Pokemon are you gonna bring in there? Do you think they have the Psych type move Future Sight, which does a lot of damage, or do they have Moonblast as coverage and it's kind of difficult for you to sometimes maneuver around it? Great lead for us, and we have a hard counter for both Pokemon there in the back there. It is absolutely ridiculous. We can completely hardwall Electric with our backline, and also of course against that Lurantis we have another hard counter in the back with that Venusaur, and so this is looking very good, and the opponent already was like, yeah, this team maybe doesn't work out that well, but cool shiny Pachirisu. Next opponent, we're going to have here the Quagsire in the lead. That is going to be a horrible lead for us again, as we are forced to swap out into our Guzzlord here, going for the Dragon Claw, trying to get them a little bit lower, and maybe use a shield on a potential Stone Edge just because it's guaranteed a lot of damage, and I kind of just want to keep my Pokemon a little bit healthy. In comes the Ferrothorn, and honestly, I should be capable of swapping out eventually into my Fire type again there, because it's going to be a better matchup for me anyway. I should be able to just swap out into my Skeletorch, get some energy then for the Water type boy there. But I decided to go for a completely weird play of going for the Crunch. I guess I want to realign here, which also does make sense because we have that Grass type in the back, but it doesn't work out for me. So what am I going to do next? Let's find out together. It's going to be a Power Whip coming through. We're going to stay in here for whatever reason. And I guess I just let the move go through and align my Skeletorch now. But I barely win anything with it, so I feel like this is kind of a misplay by me. Maybe should have shot out just straight away into my Skeletorch. But yeah, they have in the back the Talonflame anyway, and what am I supposed to do now? It is such a horrible matchup again. I feel like I got hardwalled the entire time with this team, which is different kind of experiences, of course. If one player got to rank 1 in the world, the other player I think hit Legend with this team, it's mostly just very unlucky what I encountered here with it. I'm going to be forced to let the move go through here, of course, but it is going to be basically impossible to win at this point. I have to try to go for the full farm down, which doesn't work out either because look at my HP, and I'm just gonna let them go for their fly, and it's going to be a very good game. Bye there. Next opponent, Skeletorch in the lead. That is going to be quite a nice mirror matchup. Depending on what they're gonna go for, it's going to decide also kind of how the match is gonna go. I decided to call the bait here. It's a little bit risky. They're actually also a regional winner, which you can see based on the t-shirt that they're wearing, which I really would like to get eventually as well in Pokemon Go. Just have to win a regional would be kind of a little bit of a tougher topic. I'm most likely to get this done, but yeah, hopefully eventually I will be able to also perform quite well in the regional. Would be nice. I kind of want to go to Worlds and stuff like this. I feel like it's kind of like the peak that you can reach there. But yeah, for me right now, a little bit difficult to do tournaments. Tournaments right now are not even going on anywhere until the next season. So yeah, we have to see. Anyway, we're going to be able to align ourselves in the lead, which is going to be great. And I think I'm completely screwing myself over now. Oh no, never mind. Actually, kinda. Gudra coming in here. Could have stayed in, could have just aligned my Dragon type Pokemon against it. Would have had a way better time. But what am I doing here? I'd rather decide to swap out into my Grass type Pokemon against the Dragon type Pokemon. That is not so smart. If I went into my Gustload, I would have had a way better time because I have Dragon Claw. Like, the opponent doesn't have Dragon Claw. The opponent doesn't have any coverage move that's super effective against me or like even neutral. And now it comes down if they have Moonblast or not. And honestly, I could have just avoided all of that here. And as they decide to stay in here, I'm fairly certain they're running Moonblast, and this should very likely be a good game. And yes, it is, and that's kind of the thing with like Cristian, where I hate this Pokemon quite a bit. For the Great League, it is just so awkward to deal with. Speaking of awkward to deal with, there is nothing that you can do against Carbink in the lead, and that's also kind of thing why this team would not be something for me at least. Like not even Carbink alone, like Carbink is a pretty rare Pokemon, so like trying to account for this is not really something that is like straight away something that you have to do. But Bastion isn't, and Bastion does the same thing. Like it is literally the exact same thing. Cool and funny thing here though about this one is Venusaur is going to have a great time here. Like, let me tell you, Venusaur is going to enjoy this matchup quite a bit. We tried to swap out us into the Gustload, but we were a little bit too late there for that one. We can shield the Night Slash up here, as I can try to go for the swap now, catch the Night Slash on my Gustload, have a bit of better matchup here anyway. This is going to not get the boost as well, which is going to be quite crucial as we try to go for the Dragon Claw to knock them out. And we still have a ton of energy on our Venusaur. They're definitely going to go back into the Carbink, of course. But at least we're going to be able to get that shield back anyway. They make the correct play of just staying in here, going for the full farm down, getting as much energy as possible. But at this point, they're swapping out into the Poliwrath, and I was like, why would they ever want to do this? I don't know. But my play here is actually not to go for the back-to-back charge move, because I think that's going to be a CMP tie anyway. And now my goal is to get another Frenzy Plant in, because I feel like I have to get another one in order to deal with that Carbink, because Carbink has the energy to knock me out. We have to be up at 2, and we're going to be able to knock out the first Pokemon here. And we're also going to be able to still get the Frenzy Plant off here. Is it going to be enough? We are debuffed at this point, still have to remember that. And yes, it is going to be enough, and we can move on to the final battle of today. So if you're still sticking around till now, feel free to leave a like, would really appreciate it. Thanks so much for watching the video until this point. Yeah, make a little bit of a mistake, maybe not actually. I decided to go ahead and go into my Venusaur. I guess maybe it's a mistake. Yeah, actually it is a mistake. I should have went into my Gustload because I cannot punish whatever they want to do next. And this is like the biggest issue that I did here. Like this is like badly played by me for sure. If I went to the Gustload, I would have won the matchup as well, like easily. But I would have had access to Crunch, which would do neutral damage. Now I have two moves that are going to be both double resisted. Like what am I really going to do here? And I just give the opponent a ton of energy. And unlike most answers for Miscamry, which I usually like, something like a Bastion, something like an electric type Pokemon, we don't resist the charge moves here, and this means a Brave Bird, it does a tremendous amount of damage against us, and we are kind of going to be forced to use a shield here. It's going to be a Sky Attack, they swap on into the Whisk Catch, and so, like, if I just played it out differently, we would have had such a way better time here, having the Gustload against that Lantern, which has nothing to do against us. We had Crunch against that Skarmory, we would have not been completely weak against it, and this is just poorly played by me. Like, this is just literally poorly played by me. You can't expect to have a Mudboy in the back if they have a Skarmory in the lead, and that's just like, yeah, my fault. Like, this is literally my fault. We're going to see here the Dragon Claw coming through. This is going to be able to get them kind of low, but again, I could have played this so much better, especially as they're going to outspeed me now, and that is going to be a big issue. We are forced to let the move go through because, again, they have a ton of energy on the other Pokemon. We kind of have to hope that we can still get a shield here or the knockout in time, because they could have the Brave Bird, and Brave Bird going to be quite awkward, and they decide to use a shield here, and now we have to just hope we just kind of outspeed them. If we cannot outspeed them, the game is over. Scout coming through, they don't get the debuff, which is lovely, but we have to outspeed them to the move here. We don't, and that's going to be a good game. Brave Bird coming through, we lose because of my silliness, and this is definitely something that happened most likely throughout the battles as well more often, that I kind of screwed up some battles. But yeah, the team, not for me. Still hit rank 1 in the world though, so do whatever you want to do with the team, and hopefully you enjoyed this one still. Check out the link in the description as well to the player that hit rank 1, and I see you then. Bye bye.